You hear the terms professional fishermen, fishing pros, and even guides are often referred to as fishing pros. And those are terms that we've never liked labeled on us because we feel like it puts a barrier, and we are just fishermen.
So, welcome to the Level Up Fishing Podcast. I am Andy Cochran,
And I'm Stormy Cochran.
and today we just wanted to be real and talk about, some stereotypes sort of in the industry and how we like to buck the trend, and this is another way that we like to do that.
We seem to always buck the trend. And we are not saying anything against people who are fishing pros or, professional fishermen at all. We just don't like to use those labels because we think of ourselves as just fishermen. And when you start adding those labels, it puts this almost this barrier between you and your fellow fishermen. And that's something we never like. We have to use the word guide because we are guides. But even that word has a stereotype associated, many stereotypes associated with it. And it really it sets you apart from other anglers, and we don't love that because we consider ourselves just anglers, just fishermen. That's what we are.
Yeah, it's not a competition between us and anybody else. We love to fish and we want to spread that love of fish however we can. And so, through taking people on our boats or out on the ice guiding to help them learn or help them catch a species they never have seen in real life before or experienced so many different things, that's why we do it, not because we want those labels and we want that, that glory or whatever you want to call it. We guide because we want to see a smile on somebody's face, and we're in the position that we can help do that.
And we have so many amazing memories from guiding. And so, part of it is I love that we are guides. And the other part of it is it's really hard because, come on, be honest. How many of you have heard of stereotypes or think of stereotypes when you think of a guide or a guide team? And we just want to myth bust those on our from our side and break down the ones that actually may be true. Of we can't ask a fishing guide information. We hate that. We want people to ask us information because we're happy to help.
Yeah, so along with that whole thing, there's, oh, you're a professional fisherman, so that also means you're a professional photographer, and it also means that you're a professional videographer, and it also means that no matter where you go or what you fish for, you always catch fish, and that, there's a bunch of different things that are thought of when you hear those terms. And like Stormy said, we're just fishermen.
Yeah.
And with any kind of fishing, you're still dealing with wild animals at the end of the day. They have their own creatures of habit, they have their own quirks, and no matter where you go, there's things that happen that are out of your control. And so, it's certainly no guarantee that when, quote, professional fishermen are on the water, that they have the day that you expect them to.
Yeah, you see it all the time in the Bassmaster Classic and stuff. Outstanding, phenomenal fishermen have really bad days or really bad years. I've had a really bad brown trout year. It's probably the worst one I've ever had. I just haven't had any luck, but I've had a phenomenal perch fishing year. And so it's the word pro for us is just not what we want to be labeled. We just want to be thought of as fishermen because, yeah, man, we sometimes take really horrible photos.
Well, I do for sure.
I think it's a lot of our guide team. It takes some rough photos, and that's okay because we're not professional photographers and we're not, even professional content creators. There are some outstanding content creators out there that are anglers We are not one of those. We try our best. We do what we can. Even though photography and videography and stuff might not be our strong suit, customer service, testing fishing lures, thinking outside the box, those are our strong points. And so we focus on that.
Yeah, just like we find joy in seeing everybody's smiling faces when they get to see or experience something they never have. Us as fishermen too, that happens to us as well, where we constantly like to try different theories or different techniques and come up with unique ways to catch species, with techniques that weren't meant for them, or adapt our tackle to meet the needs of the fish we want to catch, like, scaling down our lures to fit in a tiny trout's mouth or whatever it may be. So, at the same time, for us fishermen, because that's what we are too, we also like to experience new things and catch new species. And so it's just as exciting for us in that sense as well.
Well, that was me the other day. I was literally dancing on a rock because I had a very successful time catching perch the other day, and I don't think I look like a professional fisherman because I was just dancing and having a good old time.
We were just out there fishing and having fun.
Yeah.
And it took a little while for us to kind of figure out the pattern, but once we did, it was very successful, and we had a really great time doing it. And there's the next time we went out, we kind of started to repeat that, and there was some other shoreline anglers that came around, and we were able to kind of coach them up and help them out with what we saw. And so hopefully that also helped them be more successful. But I could see it at the same time. If they're like, oh, you're a guide, or like, we never said anything about any of that. We just talked to them like normal fishermen because we didn't want to put that barrier between us just along the shoreline at the same time. So,
because we've seen that many times over the years where other anglers, they almost don't even sometimes want to make eye contact with you. And so we really try and go out of our way and be like, hey, how's it going? When we see anglers at the dock, we really try and go out of our way because we're just fishermen. I mean, we have good days, we have bad days, we have hard days, we have hard years. But in the end, we just want to build a community where we all work together to share this sport, to get more anglers in this sport, to get anglers who maybe have stopped fishing back into this sport. Just really spread the love of fishing. That's our only goal.
So we always want to leave everyone with a really helpful tip. And, one thing I could say is that you shouldn't hesitate to approach a professional fisherman, because we feel like those stereotypes are very misleading, and the vast majority of folks in our industry that are considered professionals are just fishermen too, and they just want to talk fishing as much as you do. They want to learn as much as you do, and they want to experience the sport in the same way that you do. They just happen to be in a different profession sometimes than you are, but all those basic things are the same. And so just break the ice, start talking to, all your fellow fishermen as equals, and you'll be amazed at all the new things you can learn.
That's such a good tip. I hope everyone comes up to us. I love it. We get DMs and stuff all the time, but my favorite part is when anglers come up and talk with us. Just fisherman to fisherman. I absolutely love it. You know how much we've learned from other fishermen too? Like, it's not like we gained all of our knowledge magically. No, we have learned so much from other anglers, watching other anglers, working with other anglers. We learn just as much from everyone else as anyone learns from us, and we're happy to share the knowledge. And like you said, there are outstanding professional anglers out there who are happy just to talk fishing.
So hopefully that tip will spur you to make some changes going into the new year, and learn and level up your fishing.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Level Up Fishing Podcast.
And we will see you on the water or the ice.